Hello everyone, this is Darren from Auto Delivery, and what I have here is the 2024 RAV4 Prime. We have this vehicle in the XSE standard package with the windshield pearl color, and the black badges do cost extra. I'll be going over all the buttons in this car, and for your convenience, there will be timestamps below to help save you time. When you want to grab your information, you can grab it quick. So if you support this channel, please like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Alright, so starting from the back, what we have here is the tailgate, so let's just find that button to open the trunk, which is perfectly placed right in the middle for convenience. As it opens up, you're going to notice that there's quite a bit of space. There's the button to open and close the trunk, and also to set it, so I'll show you that in a bit. At the bottom here, you're going to find a spare tire, and the tools you need are just right over there. As for the tonneau cover, it looks like this right over here. When you pull it back, you do have to make sure that both of them are locked in. If you don't, that happens, so make sure the left is good, the right is good. Alright, and there it is. So retracting it, it's simple as pulling back out and letting it go, and taking it out, all you have to do is push inwards like so, and then put it back in the same way. So it's just as easy as taking it off. So at the back here, now this button over here, if you're concerned about the height, you can actually adjust it. So get to where you want it and press and hold. You wait for a few beeps to happen, and then next time you close it up and open it back up, it will stay in the same place like this. Now what if you want to make it higher? You manually push it up. Once you manually push it up, do the same thing, press and hold, wait for the 4 beeps, and then next time it closes and you open it back up, it will be exactly where you set it. Now let's talk about charging. So this cap over here is a charging port, but if you lock the car like so, you can't actually press it to open it back up. All you have to do is touch that handle, and then the back opens up easily just like this. So get this cap off this, and you see you get a nice light. So when you plug it right in there, what's going to happen is that once you plug it in, make sure to just lock the car so it locks the cable in. But when you come back into the car, all you have to do is touch the handle, which unlocks all the doors. Therefore, it does unlock the cable as well. Make sure to put this cap back on and then close it up. And the rear passengers, what they get is, as you can see right here, there's heated seats right here on both sides. There's also 2 USB Type-C chargers at the back as well. And if you want to fold down the seats, all you have to do is pull this down right over here, and then it goes down just like this. That little red spot just means it's not locked, so when you click it back in, it should lock up just like that. If you want more of a recline, you can push it one more step back like this, but I did find that sitting this way is actually more comfortable. So opening up the driver door, what you're going to notice is that, well, here's a little trick for you, okay? So you ever get this time where you open the door like so, so I open this door, but then the back is actually closed, so it's only the driver door that unlocks, and then what do you have to do? You have to go find that unlock button so the other person can go inside the car. So here's a little trick that can help you out. All you have to do is put your hand on the handle and just hold it for 2 seconds. When you see the lights turn on and you hear it click, that means all the doors will be open up. So this will help save you time when getting everyone in the car. Back in the driver's seat, I'm just going to get in the car and show you some of the buttons on the inside. So now, well, first, pulling the door closed, you're going to notice that there's a couple buttons here, but however, they're not too special. That button over there actually is to lock the windows, but it's not turning green because the car is not on. But that button is to lock the windows so that people at the back cannot open the windows. See, now the lights are on, that means it can be active. But however, you got the left and right switches right here for the mirrors, but there's more buttons over here. So very funny how they have the gas button all the way down there, because this car, you don't really fill up gas too often. So pressing it just actually pops up the gas cap like so. And then when you unscrew it, you actually hang the gas cap right there. There's a slot for it. So heading back to the driver's side, what we're going to see is that, well, what are all these buttons, right? This over here is to dim and brighten the multi-information display right over there. Usually people just keep it on the highest setting. We got the automatic high beams right over here. There is an indicator as well, so as you know, pushing it forward, you get the regular high beams, which is blue. right? But when this is active and the green light is there, it will actually turn green. So that over there is automatic high beams. It won't turn on if there's cars in front of you. This over here is the front windshield wiper de-icer. More specifically, what it does is heat up the areas where the windshield wiper is. So I'm outside of the car right now showing you how it looks like. So as you can see these lines, that is what heats up and melts the ice for you quickly. This button over here would be for the heated steering wheel. So this part will heat up and that part will heat up. So it's actually a great touch, especially in the colder seasons. This will be great. Now the odometer and trip. So this over here, when you press it, you can actually switch from trip A to trip B. And if you want to reset, all you have to do is get to the trip A and press and hold, and it goes back to 0. So if you want to record trips, you can definitely do that with this button. This button over here would be to open the trunk. So when you're in your car, you just want to open the trunk, and once you close the door, you get to the trunk, it's already open. This is a great button for that too, and it's in a good spot as well. Pressing it would just close the trunk up just like that. Buttons in the steering wheel, what we're going to see is that we're going to have, well, this button controls everything on that screen right there, but this always talks up, so I'm just going to say keep the vehicle on. I'm going to close the door so that screen does not pop up. And then what you can actually do is that, well, if that door is open, so I popped it open just a little bit, you can actually press that back button to just get rid of the screen because you already know the door is open. So I'm going to close the door back up so it doesn't pop up, but we can actually change how the gauge cluster looks. So there's actually many options for you, but I like the middle being blank. Over here you can switch, have audio, drive info and all that stuff, your compass if you wanted to as well, but I usually like to have audio on this side. Over here there's some more things, right? But I like to have it on the EV driving ratio, like how often are you using battery. Like I said, this car doesn't really use gas, so it's like using battery most of the time. But if you want, you can go to the settings right here and actually change a couple things. So the first thing is, well, first off, lane tracing assist. That's over here if you steer out of the lane, and it will just warn you. Blind spot monitors right here. So let's turn them back on. They're pretty much, this is where you can trust to be beside someone driving when you see that light on. Pre-collision system, must turn that on. Auto braking, rear cross traffic alert. That's when you back up. You have meter settings too. So remember I said you can change the meter settings, right? Yeah, you can change the language, but you can actually change how they look. So meter style, right now I have it on smart. You can have it on tough, it looks like this. Sporty, makes it look like this. Or if you want, you can have the casual default. You could have that too, but I like smart just because this is a very advanced car and it deserves the smart look. Other than that, you can get meter type. You can have 2 right here. You can just have the 1. You can choose to have widgets on or off. If it's too noisy, you can turn them off, but I like to have as many as possible. In this case, you have the regular default, like no gauges whatsoever. So this is my favorite right here. You can see everything that I need right here. So many options. It's great to have lots of options. Talking about this button over here, yes, when someone calls you, you can pick up and hang up the calls with that. Voice command right here, get it to call someone for you, and you get the volume switches right there, even though there's one right over here. For the right side of the steering wheel, you're going to see the cruise control features right over here, just the circle part, and then this part, the radar cruise control. When you press that, it cycles through how far you want to keep away from the vehicle in front of you when you are doing cruise control. Lane tracing assist right here as well if you want to turn that off. Mode, and these over here are not for cruise control, they're just to switch tracks. This button over here is the trail mode. When you press that, it gives you more traction and torque. So when you press that, you'll see a trail button right there. This is for the eco mode and sport mode, which is cool, is actually you get a nice animation. So eco mode saves you power by reducing your throttle, but when you twist it to the right for sport mode, then it turns red. So it looks like this, which is really cool. I really like this touch. And turning it back to normal, just push on that button, switches it back to normal. So here, switching it back to normal. So these two buttons at the top here, EV Auto and HV Auto, I usually have that pressed in. But this over here, okay, EV and HV and charge hold. So right now it's on EV mode, but if I press it once, so just once, it'll turn it into HV mode for hybrid vehicle mode. So this over here will drive it like any hybrid car. It'll use a combination of both. But if you press and hold, okay, so pressing and hold turns it into charge mode. You will be only using gas, but charging your battery even faster. So let me just pull up the infotainment system just to show you how it's going to look like on the energy flow setting. So right now it is using gas but charging the battery. So over here I'm going to click energy flow. You're going to see that the engine is on, but it is also charging your battery. But usually I just put it on an EV HV auto, and it just usually goes to electricity if it's 30% and above. So it also uses the battery if you put all your heats are on, your heated seats are on, your heated steering wheel on, right? If it's using a lot of heat, it will turn on the battery automatically, especially with the hybrid mode. So this over here is the automatic parking brake. You don't actually have to press that. So it looks like that right there, but if I put it into drive, it turns off automatically by itself. Pushing it back into park, it turns on by itself. So it's a great feature to have, so when you drive older cars, you might miss it. So the hold button over here, slightly different. You actually cannot turn that on unless the seatbelt is on and the car is in drive. Well, more specifically, you can turn it on, but it just won't do anything when your car is just parked. So I'm gonna push it right now. So the seatbelt's on, car is in drive. So I'm gonna push it into drive. Now you see this orange light and you see a green light. So the green light means the system is active. The orange light means it's holding the brakes for you right now. If you want to temporarily disable that, what do, right? You actually just give it just a little bit of gas and it'll let go just like that, and the car will go forward. At a complete stop, so right now the car stopped, you'll see the orange light again. That means it's safe to just let go of your foot. So this is great if your legs are tired, you can definitely use that. But however, if you press it by accident, when it's holding for you, it won't actually let you. So you have to put it back in the park, and then you can turn off that feature. So it's a really great thing to have if you're going up a hill, you don't want a car to roll backwards, or you're just waiting in traffic and you want to relax your foot, you can. We have a wireless charger here that you can actually turn off, and that warning sign there is just say don't put any keys, coins, or anything in there when it's on, so just keep it off. You got the traction control off right here in case you're stuck. You got the heat seats right here, high and low. You got the air recirculation, and this button is pretty much turning off all the fans that aren't occupied. So for example, you're in here and then no other fans will turn on, saving you a little bit more power. So the air recirculation is right there. This cycles through the fan settings as well. You want to increase the fan settings right here. Eco heat and cools just to save you power on just the climate controls. But front defogger, rear defogger, and I find that rear defoggers actually heat up the mirrors as well. Okay, so this over here, there is dual zone climate control, right? But if you're by yourself in the car, how do you shortcut that? You press sync, and then on the driver's side, you can control them both just like that. So we got the AC button there, auto button, and the off button for the climate control. So to the infotainment system here, what we're going to see is that it's a little different to tune the radio because there's no knob for tuning. You actually enter in your radio station that you want. So for example, I'm going to do a Virgin radio. Press tune, and then what you can do is press the heart button to save it as your favorite. So let's do it again. So for example, like all these are presets here. You can set as many as you want. However, if you wanted to delete them, just go like this and just press the delete button right here, and then you're done until you have one radio station. So for example, you can actually have AM and FM radio. I know some of the old cars it doesn't let you, but you can do that by pressing 2, then press AM, and then say for example you want news 1130, press tune right here. Again, if you want to press it to favorite, there you go. Now they're both there. So when you're using Android Auto right here, it's kind of a pain to switch it back and forth, so you can actually press these to actually skip tracks and radio stations as well, so it doesn't take up the entire screen when you need navigation. So back to the main screen, this car button over here, you can press for trip information if you'd like. Energy flow is what people use, so right now the car is on EV mode, so it's not making any sounds. As you can see, it's not using any gas, so it's saying the car is just still, it's just using the battery. So in the settings tab, not too much here, but you can pair up your Bluetooth from the setting as well. Display if you wanted to change the brightness or anything like that. I don't recommend changing those settings. Like for example, you can go to the camera, like when you go backup camera, all that stuff. Like I don't recommend changing it because it could look pretty bad. So other than that, there's more settings right here, but honestly, there's nothing much you'd want to play around with here. But your screen will most likely be on the Android Auto screen, so just like this, for the 90% or 95% of the time. And over here for the volume button, if you're go through drive-through or something like that, you can press it to mute it temporarily, press it again to turn it back on. You got the home link buttons right here. You can actually pair up to 3 different garages, but if you live in a condo, there's a high chance for it not working. If you live in a townhouse or an actual house, this will work for sure. If you have a gate, you can do that too, but you can actually clear the programming just like this instead of before where you had to hold 1 and 2 together. So on the right side of it, you can actually adjust the auto dimming. You can turn it off if you want, but it's best to just leave it on, and you can mess with the home link settings. So you got this lever right here, also has a camera at the back of the car. So at the back, if it's full of suitcases or lots of people or tall passengers, you can see right through them. You don't have to worry about them blocking your view. Other than that, now we go to the ceiling. So as for the ceiling, we're going to see that, well, there's open and close. That's just for the sunroof. You got the, well, lights right over here, and that's for both lights. The door is pretty much, well, if you press the door button, right? A lot of people ask about that too. So when it's actually out like this, that means it's off. So then you can clean your car if you expect to clean your car for more than like an hour or so, 30 minutes. You don't want to drain your battery, but once you're done, just press it in. And then when you open the door, that's when the light's going to turn back on. So it's best to just keep it like this unless you're planning a long cleaning session. For this button over here, that's the SOS safety feature. So as you can see, there's a nice cap on it so you don't press it accidentally. This button over here, pressing it open, opens the sunroof just like that. It's not as fancy as Alexa's with the catcher, but it still gets the job done. But however, I find that people that live where I live, they don't really open the sunroof just because there's so many birds around. I don't really trust them anymore. But however, there's the up and down. That's actually for tilt, just like that. And if you want to close the shader, you just grab it and close it. It is non-electronic, it is manual, but you can get it done faster than most electronic moonroofs. One final thing for this video, there is a rear seat reminder when you turn off the car. You can turn this off in the setting if you find it too annoying. So to wrap this all up, hope it saved you time. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have a friend that just picked up this car and wants to know about the buttons, feel free to send me this video. I'm sure they'll appreciate that as well. But look forward to a full review video on my thoughts driving this car for 2 months or so. And I'll tell you my honest opinion about it. But so far, it's been great. So if this video helped you out, please support the channel by pressing the like and subscribe button. And this has been Darren from Auto Delivery, and thanks for watching.